Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel, Maths Made Easy with Terry in 10 minutes, okay? In the previous video, we talked about the prime factor 3 method and how to simplify surds. In this video, I'm going to talk about the square number factor method, all right? Please, you have to review the previous videos and the laws of surds in order for you to know how to apply this. Just go to the playlist and you will see it labeled appropriately on Surds. Just click on the video and try as much as possible to have a look. And like I said, if you've not subscribed, please do so and click the notification bell. So when I post new videos, you will be the first to know. All right, so we're going to talk about the square number factor method. Also, as the name suggests, you will know that we're using the square number factors to simplify surds. All right, so I'm going to talk about the 5 rules or the 5 steps, okay, on how to do this. How do you do this? Now, the first thing is that you have to find all the square numbers. There is a factor of the number under the roots. Is that okay? So we have to first find all the square numbers. So you have to find all the square numbers that are factors of the number under the root. Is that okay? Then when you found all the square numbers, the next thing you have to do is then select the pairs of the factor from this step with the lowest non-square numbers. Is that okay? So you then select the pair. So basically, yeah, so I think this would be the best way to write it. So select the pairs of factors, okay, from step 1. So that means from this step, from step 1, with the lowest, okay, with the lowest non-square numbers, okay, non-square numbers. So basically what I'm saying is that in step 1, remember we're looking for square numbers that are factor. It's going to give us square numbers. You're going to have square number, all right, multiplying a non-square number. So usually that's what you're going to find. So a square number multiplying a non-square number. I meant number, not method. All right. So, and that will be that. So that means from step 1, the pair that has the lowest non-square number is the one you then what? Select. Then number 3, when you're done with that, then you have to then rewrite the chosen pairs. The chosen pairs that you selected from step 2, okay? So this chosen pairs of factors in sort form. So that means the factors you selected from step 2, you rewrite them as a product of sort form or a product of the factors in sort form. Okay? All right. Then when you're done with that, the next step is that you then break down the product pairs into single sorts by applying the laws of sorts. So you then break down the product pairs okay, into single sorts. By applying the laws of sorts. Okay, so where we talked about square root of AB is equal to square root of A times square root of B. Then after you're done with that, number 5, you will then what? Simplify, okay? From that, you then what? Simplify. Okay, So what we're going to do now, we're going to solve some questions on this. So I'm going to use exactly the same example I used in the prime factor method, prime factor 3 method in the previous video. Is that okay? So I'm going to use exactly the same numbers or exactly the same question, and we'll get the same answer. All right. So in the previous video, I talked about how to simplify square root of 720. Okay. So step 1 in the rules said that we have to find all square numbers that are factors of the number. So when we talk about square numbers, 4 is a square number because the square root of 4 will give us 2. 16 is a square number because if you square root 16, it's going to give us 4. Does that make sense? We can say 81 is a square number because when you square root 81, it's going to give us 9. So basically, that's what we talk about square numbers. And that's why I said, please, you have to review the previous video I talked about and solve questions on that so that you understand this concept. So now we have 720. So we're looking for all square numbers that are factor of 720. So first thing first, we can say 1 times 720 because, okay, so that means the square numbers, we're going to write it on the left-hand side. Okay, this will be the square numbers. Then the non-square numbers, so the ones non-square numbers will be on the right-hand side. Is that okay? Then another one, we can say 36 times 20. So because 36 is a square number, because the square root of 36 is going to give us 6. What again? We can try 4 times 180. Okay, 4 times 180 because the square root of 4 is going to give us what? 2. So 4 is a square number. And that one again we can try 16 times 45. Yes. So because when you use the square root of 16 will give us 4. All right. So that means 16 is a square number. Another one we can try 144 times 5. Yes, because square root of 144 is going to give us 12. So you see in this method, if you're not very good with multiplications and factors, please feel free to use the first method, but this method is faster. So what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to list all the square numbers that are factors of what? 720. And also 9, yes, 9 can go. So 9 times 80 will also give you 720 because the square root of 9 is equal to what? 3. Okay, so now these are all the square factor numbers for 720. Now we'll go to step 2, okay? Step 2 now said, because we have the square number on the left, the non-square number on the right, right? So step 2 now says, select the pairs of factor from step 1 with the lowest, okay? We're looking for the lowest non-square number. So the lowest non-square number we are having here, we have 720, 20, 180, 45, 5, and 80. So that means this lowest here is 5. So that means this lowest pair we're going to pick is 144 times what? 5. So that means the pair we're going to pick is going to be 720 will be equal to 144 times 5. Now, when you're done with that, we're going to go to step 3. Okay, we're going to solve step 3. Now, for step 3, we're told that we have to rewrite the chosen pair of factors in sort form as a product. So that means we've selected 144 times 5. So that means square root of 720 now will be equal to square root of 144, all right, times 5. Now, we've done that, so we'll go to step 4. It said now we need to break down the product pairs into single sorts by applying the laws of sorts. So we'll break down the pairs. So we have step 4, all right? Step 4 is going to be square root of AB. We know that's equal to square root of A times square root of B. So we can now say square root of 720 is going to be equal to square root of 144 times square root of 5. So basically, we're breaking down the sorts into simpler pairs. Then after that, it's asking us to simplify. So step 5, we know, is to simplify. So square root of 720 is going to give us Square root of 144 times square root of 5. Now, square root of 144 is what? 12 times square root of 5, and the answer you will get is going to be 12 root 5. So therefore, the answer, when we simplify square root of 720, will be 12 root 5. Exactly like what we did the last video. Now you can see this method is faster, all right, but you will need to be very conversant with factors and know how to solve very well. Is that okay? So now I'm going to pick the second question as well that we solved in that video. We talked about simplifying 3 root 280, okay? So simplify 3 root 280, all right? And like I told you in that video, because we are having two things, same thing as saying 3 times square root of 280. So what we are going to do, we're going to simplify 280 first, and we'll multiply the answer by what? 3. So step 1, we're going to list all the square factor of 280. And if you think about it, we only have 1, 4 times 70. There are no other square factors for 280. So it's 4 times 70. Now, when we're done with that, we now have to go to step 2. And step 2, so say that we have to select. So because we only have 1, so definitely we're going to pick the only one we have. So 280 is going to be 4 times what? 70. Now, after that, we go to step 3. Okay, step 3, we're told that we have to rewrite the chosen pairs in a sort form as a product. Okay, so we're going to write in a sort form. So square root of 280 will give you square root of 4 times 70. So step 4 will now be, we'll go back and we'll check. So step 4 said that we have to break down the product pairs into single sorts by applying the laws of indices. So we're going to break it down. We know that square root of AB is equal to square root of A times square root of B. So square root of 280 will be equal to square root of 4 times square root of 70. All right? So that will give us, oh yes, I think that will be in step 5. So step 5 said we should simplify. So now we're going to simplify now. So step 5 will now simplify. So square root of 280 will give us square root of 4 times square root of 70. So square root of 4 is 2 times square root of 70. And that will give us 2 roots what? 70. So therefore, we can now say square root of 280 is equal to 2 root 70. Then we can now rewrite this one. So that means we can rewrite this question as in 3 multiplied by 2 root what? 70. And loss of indices, where you then have 3 multiplied by 2 root what? 70. And that will give us 6 root what? 70. So the answer here is going to give you 6 root what? 70, exactly like the answer we had in the previous video. So now this is how you use the square number factor method to solve, okay? And like I said, feel free to solve more questions. If you go through worksheets, textbooks, and you find some questions that is hard, you can't use the square number factor method, please use the prime number 3 factor method and solve. Okay, and that will be that for that. And if you have any question, feel free to send me an email and I will get back to you. And also, if you, for example, you have any question, just send me an email, put it in the comment section. And if you've not subscribed, I don't know what you're waiting for. Please do that so that when I upload new videos, you'll be the first to know. All right, see you soon, and I'll see you in the next video.